For the last 100 days, I have woken up at 4 a.m. My name is Seamus. Welcome to the Seamus Evans Show, inspiring a million lives by 2030. That is my new mission statement. That is the goal. That is the mission. That's what I'm trying to do here. So for the last 100 days, I remember starting this year going, I really want to wake up early and seize the day. On my vision board, I created this picture of a beautiful misty morning along the bush, and it's along the grass, the green trees, and there's like a clean, clear mist. It's a little bit cold. You can feel it, the crisp air. And it was a real goal of mine to seize the day every single morning. I want to wake up. I want to wake up before the world wakes up, and I want to have a moment to myself. I want to read. I want to pray. I want to meditate. I want to journal, or whatever it is that I do. I just want a moment to myself before the busyness and the bustle happens of the day, because I've been feeling that throughout the days. I've just been chasing my tail with so much stuff to do, juggling life, juggling hobbies, juggling stresses, juggling work. And by the end of the day, I haven't had time for myself, and I get quite frustrated because there's no time for me. So I decided January 1, bang, 4 a.m. every day, my alarm is going to go off and I'm going to seize the day. So this is how the journey's been. First of all, the first week I was a zombie. Actually, no, the first week I was excited, very excited, really keen. And I had so much planned for the hour and a half to 2 hours that I've got on my own before my family wake up or before I have to go to jiu-jitsu training. And I was really excited about it. And every time the alarm went off, I would jump out of bed. I'd race over to turn it off. And a little hack that I had learnt is don't put my phone next to my bed. Instead, put the phone out in the kitchen. So I have to get up out of bed and run or walk quite briskly while there's no lights anywhere, so you don't hit any walls. And I had to actually go, 5 meters to turn my phone off. And so I turned my phone off, and there I am, butt naked in the kitchen, staring like a zombie. Oh. And I have noticed for the last 100 days, every single time I'm standing in my kitchen and I turn the alarm off, my brain says, go back to sleep. That's when I know I'm doing the right thing. So the first week was really exciting. Then the second week, I was an absolute zombie and I was really tired. That went on for another 2 to 3 weeks after that. The key as well was doing it on weekends, not just weekdays. The second key was getting to sleep early. I found if I went to sleep after 9 o'clock, I was really tired and I really struggled. If I went to sleep before 9 o'clock, preferably between 8 and 8:30, I would get a really nice night's sleep. And it went really great. The whole 100 days has been really good. I'll be lying if I said I woke up for 100 days in a row at 4 a.m. Out of the 100, I've probably done it 80 times. Yes, 20% of the time, I have allowed myself a sleep in. This is due to sickness. This is due to being really tired and training for jiu-jitsu for a competition coming up, making sure I'm recovering well. And when I know that I've had a late night, because although this goal is really important, it's a long-term goal. I don't want to stop after this 100 days. I want this to continue forever. But at the same time, your health is really important. Sleep is really important. Your well-being and your mindset throughout the day is really important. And if you're too tired, you make poor judgment, you make bad decisions, and you're in a bad mood. So I didn't want to affect that. I wanted to still operate at a consistent level. So if I had a really busy day the night before or the day before and I didn't get to sleep till 11, no, I wasn't waking up at 4. I would allow myself to sleep in because the 8 hours is really important. I found I was averaging 7 hours a night. And then when I really needed it, like with heavy training or a late night, whatever, I'd allow the sleep in. But probably 20 times in total. And that's probably on the excessive side. It's probably closer to 10 to 15, but still, let's just say it's 20. Out of the 100 days, 20 times I have allowed myself to sleep past 4 a.m. There's also another element of I've gotten up at 4, haven't been able to wake up properly. So at 5, I'll go back to sleep. Or at 5:30, I'll go back to sleep. But I just wanted to make sure I got up at 4 and I did something. So this was the pattern. The first month was tough. The second month was really great because I forged a new habit, and it was an exciting new habit. And I would jam-pack that morning full of activities. So I had 2 books to read. Then I had a journal to read. Then I was studying leadership, and I'd write down all these notes that I've learned. Then I found that went way too quick because I was almost trying to cram so much in to a short amount of time that I felt I was still chasing my tail throughout the day because I never gave enough task enough time. Then I pulled back on how many things I did inside that hour and a half to 2 hours. And I allowed a lot more time for staring at the wall and just allowing my thoughts to run and just being present in the darkness, in the silence. Maybe going outside and standing on my balcony and just looking out at my yard, like literally boring stuff, but allowing it, because throughout the day, you kind of crave that, right? In our busy lives, we look at people who don't do anything and we go, oh, geez, I'd love to be able to bloody do that. I'll tell you what, I can't do it though. Oh, who's got time to do that? Well, you find time. And doing nothing is sometimes really all you need to get the work done throughout the day because you're not craving that time to yourself. I have found in all of the times between large career moves or large jobs and things like large projects, having time to get bored, allowing yourself to get bored is really, it pays off in dividends, is really rewarding. So I kind of gave myself, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, just to sit there in my own thoughts and be, which sounds weird, but it was actually really helpful for my mindset throughout the day. Then I would pull back on tasks, and instead of reading 2 books and filling out 2 textbooks, I would just read 1 book for as long as I wanted. And then I would mosey on over and make myself a coffee. But I kind of took the pressure off. I took the stress out of it, and I took the rules. Like, when you do things for fun and then you start putting pressure on yourself to do it. It's like what they say if you ever turn a hobby into a job, it takes the fun out of it. Same kind of thing. I wanted this to be my time to do with whatever I wanted. And so I really took the pressure off, and I just started reading 1 book at a time rather than trying to jam pack as much information in my brain as possible to really emphasize that I'm adult learning and leveling up. Like, chill, bro. This is a long-term game. This is a marathon. Then what I noticed, the days that I had the sleep in, the days that I was sick, the days that I was really, truly tired and needed it, I missed that time. Oh, and I felt straight away back to chasing my tail, and there wasn't enough time in the day. My mood changed. I was angry, more irritable, more frustrated at the tiniest little things. I wasn't calm. And I knew it's because I didn't have my routine. I didn't have my morning to myself to reset. I've really discovered that it's really important to do. The other things I started experimenting with were manifestation. Now, the moment people start talking about manifesting, it's like, bro, manifesting ain't real. It's just you sitting around trying to wish to the fairies for success. What manifesting is programming your mind to operate at a higher level. And throughout the day, when your brain wants to quit or give up or not be in discomfort, but seek comfort, it stops you. And then it goes, hang on, remember this morning we manifested that success outcome, that goal? Well, is this aligning towards that? And it helps you navigate your brain wanting to distract you, wanting to tempt you with dopamine hits, wanting to tempt you with distraction and comfort. Like, after all, human beings, we seek comfort or we avoid discomfort. And so when we want to do a task that does align with our ultimate goal, that is going to be very rewarding to us and is going to help us move forward in our aspirations, for some reason our brain won't let us. It tries to stop us along the way. Why? I don't know. I'm not a neurologist, neuroscientist, or a psychologist, but it does. It stops us. Maybe because it has something to do with getting out of your comfort zone. We don't want to. We want to stay inside of our comfort zone all the time. So every time we go to push ourselves out of it, our brain finds a way to stay inside of it. So I have found manifesting has helped me create healthy habits that compound over time towards my goals that I've setted, that align with my larger aspirations in life. So every morning when I do the manifestation, throughout the day, my brain does exactly that. It stops me every time my brain wants to do something that's comfort, like eat junk food, sit down, watch a movie. It goes, hey, 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 does this align with your goals? No, it doesn't. Okay, so why don't you go back, send that last email? Why don't you go back, finish that sentence? Why don't you go back and start programming or start creating a new workshop? Whatever it might be, right? It just helped me navigate my brain wanting to seek dopamine and comfort. And there are many different ways. The other thing I've noticed is I've gotten bored. So there are some days where I've gotten up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got like 2 hours to kill. I'm really bored. And I would, the rest of your family's asleep. So you just kind of, you don't want to make too much noise. And you kind of sit around and you're like, oh my goodness, this sucks. You know those memes where you see Pablo Escobar waiting for his friends because he's in his compound in prison and he's just on the swings on his own, staring out into his massive yard. Like, that's how I felt. And I'm like, oh, geez, this next 40 minutes is going to go by very slowly. But I tried to just allow it and just accept it. The other things I noticed is I got really tired. Throughout the day, I would be tired, and sometimes I didn't have enough energy to complete the tasks. So this is where the balance comes into play, because it's great that you want to join the 4 a.m. club. It's great that you want to get up early to fit more time in your day. But if it actually impacts your work and how much effort you put into things and your output, well, then we've got to weigh up, is it worth getting up at 4 a.m.? The key is getting to bed early. And I think it's really important to look at this like a long-term goal. So if you do stay up past your bedtime because there's a birthday party or you got friends over, let it happen, man. Life is about living. Don't beat yourself up too much and being so strict. It's important over the long run that you are strict with your bedtime, but don't get to the end of your life and wish you were more social and you weren't social because you had to be in bed by 8:30 every night. That guy's boring. That guy has no friends. So there were some negotiations that I had to kind of bring my wise mind into things rather than my emotional mind. Because, I would get frustrated that I had to put my toddler to bed and they would stay up. My toddler would stay up till like 9 o'clock because they didn't sleep or they had too long of a nap during the day. Yeah, that annoyed me. That meant I wouldn't get up at 4. I'd get up at 4:30. Do you know how frustrating that is? Oh, well, that's life. You got to learn to roll with the punches. And so these are some of the lessons that I have learned for 100 days getting up at 4 a.m. It has absolutely been tough, but I've enjoyed every step of the way. And I have found, so it was tough for the first month, fun for the second and third. After that was tough because the novelty wore off. Once the novelty had gone, and you weren't necessarily looking forward to reading the book or doing the journaling, like that had dissipated, that excitement around it, that new novelty, that's when it became hard, because that's when you were doing something boring, that's habit building, that's behavioral changing. That was the tough part because you had to do it with no excitement. That I found that one really difficult. So you kind of have to find ways to keep it exciting, keep it engaging, and keep it where you actually look forward to getting up. The amount of times I have gone to bed, put my alarm on and gone, this is going to be tough. And then I try and force myself to fall asleep, and I know I have a bad night's sleep, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be hard. But that alarm is going off. I cannot reach over and turn it off while I'm in bed. I've got to get up. So once, like Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about this, he actually spoke about this when it comes to mental health and depression. He never got depressed and he never had poor mental health because he never gave himself time. He would just always act and do things. Wake up, go to the gym, eat. He took the thought out of everything. And there's a lot in that. Thoughts can be your worst enemy. They can be your best friend, like manifesting great thoughts, big thoughts. Think big, aspire, have goals. But it can also tear you down because fear generates horrible thoughts to keep you in your comfort zone. And a lot of the times we are just scared little kids running around in adult bodies. So we are scared a lot, right? And when you give yourself time to think, you think scary thoughts that stop you from doing the thing that you really need to do. I found once the novelty had worn off, it became behavioral and I was doing the setting the alarm without thinking. And I wasn't even negotiating with myself anymore going, oh, should I get up that early? Shouldn't I? I just would set the alarm without thinking, put it on the kitchen table and go to bed. And I wouldn't think about it until the alarm went off. Once it became a mundane exercise, once it became boring, that's when it became difficult. But that's when I knew the more times that I do this, the more days in a row that I take the thinking out of it and just do the motions like a machine, that's when you actually build the habit. That's when you change the behavior. That's when you rewire the brain. And then it became not a goal, not a task, but just a daily habit, a daily behavior, something that I do every single day. The excitement comes in changing your routine to get the best out of your routine, to start your day with the most effort, with the most oomph or emphasize on the best parts of your morning. This is a really great way to set the tone of the day. A lot of the times we run through our busy day constantly waiting to get to the end so we can relax. Relax at the beginning, set the right frame, set the right tone, and frame your brain and your mood and your mindset. Get everything aligned so the rest of the day falls into place and you are able to be the best version of yourself without trying to rush through. That's the biggest lesson that I learned. Noticing it when I haven't gotten up at 4 a.m., it actually really negatively impacted me and I missed it. And I would look forward to doing it the next day. Just recently, I've been sick. And for about 3 days in a row, I allowed the sleep in because I was really sick and I needed to rest. I needed to heal. And so it got tough because I almost broke the habit and I almost broke, like, because my body, I was sleeping 12 hours each night and then, 2-hour naps during the days. I almost broke it because I was up at 1:30 in the morning staring at the ceiling and that's way too early to get up. And so then I'd fall back asleep and wake up at 6 and it almost threw me. And just yesterday morning and this morning, I've had to go back to that habit, which felt really tough. The more you do it, the easier it is to maintain. You just can't give yourself like 2 to 3 days allowances. One day, that's when you give yourself the break. But when you give it a full week, you've lost it. You got to start from scratch. The key is never 2 days in a row. The key is only once. If you want to sleep in, if you need to sleep in, it's once. But the next 2 days, that you've got to do it habitual. You've got to do it ritualistically. You've got to do it in order. You're allowed an off day, but you can't have 2 in a row. That's where I really noticed the trick. Don't allow yourself to have more than one sleep in. It's once. So pick it. Is it Friday morning? Is it Saturday morning? Is it Sunday morning? Or is it Monday morning? And the best is just waking up at 4 a.m. every day. So listen, if you want to train yourself, if you want to join the 4 a.m. club, I highly recommend it. I think it's amazing. It changes your life. Here are a couple of things that you need to do. One, I think you should stop drinking. No alcohol. Alcohol ruins your sleep. And no drugs. Drugs ruin your sleep. Also, Get something exciting to wake up for. Have something first thing in the morning, a reward, whatever it might be, whether it's a coffee, whether it's breakfast, whether it's reading, whether it's, I don't know, going for a walk, something that makes you want to stay awake. That'll help you avoid the mind that goes, you're too tired, you got to go to bed. That's going to really help. The second one is embrace struggle, because you're going to be tired and it's going to be hard to keep doing it past day 30. Then I would also recommend embrace boring. So after the difficult part and you've gotten past that and it's just habitual, it gets boring. The novelty wears off, the excitement dies off. It's boring because you're 3 months in. That's when the real work begins. That's when the real habit forming forms. So keep fresh with what you want to do in the morning and experiment with your morning routine. But don't change it every day, because the whole point of a routine is that you do it every morning. So give it like 2 weeks at a time. Do something for 2 weeks. Eat the same food, read the same book, write the same thing, whatever. But do it for 2 weeks straight before you change it up. Really explore the routine and make sure it fits you, and notice the results throughout the day. Be conscious about how it's helping you throughout the day. And if it's not helping, that's when it's time for a change. If you're always tired, you got to go to bed earlier. Don't fight things. Don't get angry at yourself or beat yourself up if you're tired because you got up early. Try to get to bed earlier. And if you don't, maybe move it half an hour forward. But really, you want to be quite strict on the same time every single day, going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. That is like a non-negotiable. If you're allowed to have a nap during the day, have a nap during the day. But it's very easy for us to like set these goals and aspirations and they're too unobtainable. It's like, oh, I'm going to wake up at 3 o'clock every morning and I'm going to work until 1 a.m. Not going to happen, bro. You might be able to do it for 3 days in a row, tops, and then you're cooked. So it has to be something that you're going to be able to do every day for the rest of your life. And when you start saying that, when you start throwing that comment around, it changes things. The goalposts start getting a little bit closer, because having them so far away, if it's so hard to get through the first 30 days, you're not going to keep it for the rest of your life. Start thinking long-term. So short-term goals, short-term achievements that align with the long-term. If you're a part of the 4 a.m. club, and if you've been doing it for 100 days or longer, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. If you have any experiences, setbacks, challenges, or hacks that made it easier, please share it in the comment section. And as always, the Seamus Evans Show is firing off on all cylinders, really working out what is the best way to record podcasts, upload, and get these long-form content out there. So any feedback for the show, I'd love to hear from you as well. You can always reach out via email on my website, SeamusEvans.com. My email is really easy, Seamus@SeamusEvans.com. I'm also on every single social media, so follow me there if you want. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.